my mother had an older brother. He had emigrated to New Jersey, and he promised that when he got settled in New Jersey, he would bring my grandmother, my mother's mother, and all the brothers and sisters, so there was 10 in that family, to come to live in New Jersey. And unfortunately, a short time after he came to New Jersey, he died. He was in a motorcycle accident, and he got gangrene poisoning in his leg from the petrol that went in the wound, and he did die. And the young widow then gave birth to twin sons after he was dead. And we lost touch with that young woman and her twin sons because the war had come, and the family lost touch. So when I got engaged to be married to an American, my mother said, you know, you have a cousin, twin cousins in New Jersey, and an Aunt Mary. You should go look them up. My mother has no idea the size of New Jersey. I said, well, what town did they live in? She said, I think it was Elizabeth. I said, well, Mom, I might find them one day, but I had no intention of looking for them. Years later, I was at church, and a couple in church said to me, we're going for ice cream, and we have a couple from Ireland, from Donegal, and they're visiting us, but they live in New Jersey. Would you like to join us for ice cream? I said, I'd love to. I love ice cream. So I was seated next to the elderly gentleman, and I said, what town in New Jersey do you live in? He said, Elizabeth. I said, I'm going to ask you a dumb question. Have you heard of a woman in New Jersey called Mary Gillen? He said, yes, and her twin sons, Dennis and John. I said, yes. I said, do you know her? He said, of course I know her. She's one of my best friends. Her family are from Donegal. I said, that's right. I said, how do you know her? He said, she's my attorney and a best friend. I said, no, it couldn't be the same woman. This woman was an uneducated woman. Well, to find out, Mary Gillen phoned me up, and she told me that she had indeed been uneducated at the time her husband died, and she had a sister who was a nun, who babysat her boys to allow her to go to night school. She got her GED, she went to night school, then she went to law school, she became a lawyer, then she became the first woman judge in New Jersey. So she said, when are you going home? And I told her the date. And when I arrived at JFK, this gorgeous-looking blonde lady approached me. She said, are you Anne-Marie McLaughlin? I said, indeed. She said, I'm Mary Gillen. Well, I was crying with happiness to meet her and hear her life story. And when I got off that plane, I said to my mother, you will never guess who I met in New Jersey. Mary Gillen. You know, she wasn't at all surprised.